Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You're all I long for, all I adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Give her one drop here. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. I fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, don't you know, pretty babe, I love you.
Can I say something from you?
Yes, you can. I think you feel young. You look young. You're both good people. I think you're both kind, and you're all very kind people. I think don't never let the kindness be removed from your hearts, because you clearly have maintained it through the years. And I think it's it? What street was that? Where is that? East Street. It's fantastic. Howard Street extension of East Street. I mean, I should probably visit there, shouldn't I? You went to the school? Did you graduate? Graduate from school? I don't know, in America it's different from where I'm from. You walked to school? Ah, that's the best way to get there. Sounds good. These feet were made for walk. That's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Dum, 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 dum.